Hi everyone, I'm sorry I haven't been blogging lately. I think it's been about a year since my last blog post, and that's a really long time, I know. Work had been really stressful for me. There was a new administration, there was a lot of turnover, there was a lot of new hires, and there were positions being shifted around. And I really found it all mentally and physically exhausting. I started to hate working there because most of my friends had left. The people I really enjoyed working with were gone. And I was really struggling with just being happy there. Luckily for me, though, everything's changed because I've got a new job and I'm really happy for it. I'm really grateful for the people who helped me get there. And it's in a new company, obviously, but it's the same industry and I do different things, but it's stuff that I know how to do, and if I don't know how to do, it's easily enough to learn. There's a lot of people to teach me, and I'm much happier now than I was 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, which is a really good thing for me. Um, the other announcement that I wanted to make was that I'm also pregnant. I'm 21 weeks along, and we're having a girl. And because I am over the age of 35, that puts me in the high risk category. So I had a couple of tests done. One of the tests was the NT test, which tests for extra chromosomes in the baby and for Down syndrome. And what they do is they take a sonogram of the baby, and then they measure the spinal fluid between the spine and the skin, and then they take two blood draws, one when you get the sonogram and one several weeks later, and they measure the hormones in the blood for that. There's some calculation involved between the two blood draws and the space behind the neck, and they determined that the baby was fine for that, so there's no Down syndrome according to that test. The other thing that I had done was a genetic test for Tay-Sachs, sickle cell, cystic fibrosis, a couple of things like that, some of the more common diseases. And I really wanted to have it done because I just want to know, I want to be prepared. And it was also covered by insurance, so I thought, why not? And what would happen is they take my blood and then they test for those genetic markers. And if I had one of those genetic markers, my husband would then need to have his blood drawn and tested to see if he had the same genetic markers. Because a lot of these diseases require both parents to have the genetic markers in order for the baby to have it. So luckily for me, I didn't have any of these genetic markers, so Hubs didn't really need to do that, and we didn't have to go to a genetic counselor or have amnio done. And I'm kind of grateful for that because my friend had an amnio done. She said that it hurt like hell and that the needles were like super long and super fat. And it was just a process that was actually sounding quite scary because there are some side effects to that too, and I'm glad that we didn't have to go through that. So the baby is fine for that. The baby is about 21 weeks along, as I said, and is about 12 ounces. For a little while, I was worried that the baby wasn't growing because I wasn't really showing that much. And also because my friends who are about the same stage or a couple of weeks later, they gained 10 to 20 pounds already, and I only gained 5. So I was worried that I wasn't gaining fast enough. But since the sonographer said that the baby was a good size, I don't really have to worry about that. I started off a little bit heavier anyway, according to all those charts. So I should only be gaining about 15 to 25 pounds. And so far I've only gained 5, which is, I guess, a good rate. Most of the weight will probably come in the third trimester. First trimester, I had a little bit of nausea and some insomnia, but I can also contribute that to stress from work because when I'm stressed out, I also have those symptoms as well. So maybe the combination of the two I had more often than maybe I normally would have. The second trimester is pretty much kind of easy, except for I realizing that I'm not getting enough air when I talk. When I'm talking right now, I feel like I have to breathe a lot and I'm not getting enough air. Oh, excuse me. So, and I feel like everything's like pushed up a little bit. I can't eat as big of meals as I used to, which is fine. Um, Hubs has been cooking quite a bit for me. We cook together really, but he's made chicken vindaloo, he's made our beef stew recipe, he's found some meatball recipe that seems really easy to make, and we already made that. and he's found a chicken parmesan recipe, some other recipes that he really wants to try. I'm a lazy cook. I actually don't like cooking, but he seems to enjoy it quite a bit. So I go and I help him, and we have a good time cooking our dinners and stuff now. And it's really good because we know how much fat and salt and butter is going into these recipes. Whereas before, when you go out to eat, you know you're just eating a whole bunch of really terrible foods. Even at healthy places, it's all really terrible foods. So I think that's why I haven't gained a whole bunch of weight. I also miss Caesar salads because I can't have raw eggs, and Caesar salads are generally made with raw eggs. So that's basically out, and I think that cuts down on some of the fat as well. Luckily, there's some vinaigrettes that I like, but unfortunately, I find them just a little bit too sweet. But that's okay. It's only for about 9 months. And then I can't eat sandwich meats, so like salamis and stuff like that. I can't have either, and I can't have hot dogs either. Which every once in a while I have like the hugest craving for hot dog, even though I don't really eat hot dogs normally. I think because I can't have it, I just want it now. Especially since there's a whole bunch of hot dogs commercials that seem to be on the air lately. I guess since it's summer, but since we don't buy it and Hubs doesn't buy it and it's not in the house, it's not something that I can eat easily. We'd actually have to go out and get it, and it's not something that my husband's going to go out and get for me, especially since it's like kind of it's off the eat list. So I can't eat that. There's no raw meat, so no sushi. I have to get my meats kind of cooked well done now instead of medium rare, and that's okay. So on the whole, I'm doing really well. We have to baby-proof the house, which is going to be a huge ordeal because I have a lot of bookshelves that aren't secure to the wall. I have a lot of wires because I have a lot of gadgets. The fish tanks I know can be pulled off because they're not really secure to the wall either. And if the baby decides to climb on the bookshelves, they could easily topple over the fish tanks as well. So I have to baby-proof the house. We have to clean out the baby room, and I think that's basically it for all the things we have to do. Oh, I have to clean out the living room because I have a lot of clutter down there. I have some crafts down there. I do a lot of different types of crafts depending on my mood, and so I have to clean up the crafts area and just basically put it in storage bins and put it upstairs in this office basically, and just clear it out so that the baby has a place to crawl and a safe place to play and stuff like that. So I think other than that, we're doing really well. I'm going to try to do more vlogging, but we'll see because since my pregnancy has been fairly easy, I don't think there's much to talk about. But I'm just going to try to update you periodically and show you my belly. I guess that's one thing I should do is show you my belly. A lot of people want to see it. So here's my stomach. I just ate also, so it's a little bit bigger up here. And I've just been wearing my sundresses, especially since it's summer. It's nice and easy. My sundresses are fairly flowy. I'm avoiding the maternity stores for now because I hate the idea of buying something that I'm only going to wear like for 3 months maybe, but I may have to because at some point some of these dresses are going to get really, really short, and I think I only have like 3 or 4 maxi dresses I can switch out of, so I may have to end up buying some more dresses, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just avoiding it. And other than that, I think we're doing really well, and I hope you're all well as well.